Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might.
Friends for pets! Friends for pets!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as our season finale here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. Season 7 coming to a close, and that means tonight we get to crown a champion here in this series, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to be able to capture not only this championship, potentially the race win here tonight as well. Going to our champion is Jacob Grube, who's starting on that pole position, is looking to try to make it 3 in a row here, looking for the clean sweep here in our season finale. But there's a lot of drivers that are trying to chase him down. 4 other drivers trying to beat that 18th right here tonight, hoping that he has a absolutely catastrophic afternoon that may potentially take him out of the running here this evening. As Jeff McJeffrey, what's good, Jeff? Jeff coming in showing the love. My boy Kevin Winker coming in showing the love as well over there on Facebook. K-Dub says, last race of Season 7. Already looking forward to Season 8. Details will be out soon. If anyone is interested in joining, hit up Peacemaker Gaming or myself, and we can get you in the Discord. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to be able to jump in and join the fun here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series, man, make sure you guys get a hold of me, get a hold of Kevin Winker, or any of these amazing drivers, and don't miss your chance to become part of the show for Season 8 here in this series. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we get ready to rumble here for our season finales. Dimitri Curtis says, last race, let's go, he says, let's go. Janelle says, let's go, last race, go blue. 2,089 days and counting. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of days, baby. That's a lot of days. As Bucky says, let's go, big boy, a.k.a. B-Lane. B-Lane are out there on the racetrack ready to rumble here this evening. As Sean Rita says, let's go, number 42, hashtag Winker Nation over there on YouTube. Is here we go, getting ready to battle here for the final time here this season. Is starting in that pole position, it is Jacob Grube. Grube looking for the championship here this evening with Brad Lane to his outside. Zach Michael, one of those drivers in the championship 5, trying to hunt down Jacob Grube, hoping to try to work his way into the championship. Ed Koschersberger there in 4th. Then we see the 16, another championship driver. They're in that 5th position. It's Alex Pelican to his outside. The 75, that Ridge PowerSports KR Gunners ride. That's Bobby Blair. Starting in position number 7 in the Snyder Bees machine. It's another championship driver. It's Nicholas Snyder. They're in position number 7. Thing Ostrowski to his outside. Nick Gardner. They're in 9th as our championship 5, all starting on the inside row here to start this race. All 5 championship drivers in the first 5 inside rows here this evening as Garner starts there in 9th. It's Neil Lapidus to his outside. Brandon Deming, Tim Blankenbeckler, John Herbert, Kevin Winker, Kyle Van Dassel, and Ryan Peterson bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as our final race of the season is upon us. The Pump Smoke 22, number 18, Jacob Grube out in front, looking to try to pick up the championship here this evening, hoping to try to lead some laps, stay out in front, just have a solid top 3, top 5 day, and he could probably work himself into that championship. As you see B-Lane making the move down low. There's Brad Lane looking for the race lead down through 3 and 4. He'll slide up in front of the 18 rider Jacob Grube. Grube will settle into 2nd as the 1 ride of Brad Lane will lead lap number 1 here this evening. As Janelle says, the days refer to the last time Ohio State beat Michigan Wolverines. Go Blue. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of days. That's a lot of days. Poor Ohio State, man. That's a heartbreaker right there. 2,000, almost 2,100 days since they beat the Michigan Wolverines. That's crazy. That's crazy. And shots fired here this evening, Janelle. That is absolutely insane. As Albert Anderson, Albert says, hashtag Winker Nation. Dimitri says, good luck to everyone. Been a great season to watch. Yeah, definitely been a lot of fun. Some craziness out there on the racetrack as you do see Zach Michael able to make the move around Jacob Grube, sliding Grube back to position number 3 here on the speedway. So early on, the 18 ride sliding backwards, but I think the big question mark is going to be here this evening is going to be fuel and tires. How much does the fuel, how much does the tires play a factor in this race? And how often and how likely are we going to see these drivers come down pit road, make pit stops? It seems like probably about 15-20 laps, you'll really see a huge increase in lap times, and these tires really fall off, and unfortunately really makes it difficult for these drivers. So we could see them run virtually 20-25 lap run stints and try to make it maybe a 3-stop race here this evening, maybe making it even 4-stop race, try to hope that they race their way up to the front of the field, able to make some big moves and be able to put themselves up and in to the championship contention. As Zach Michael does make the move down low around Brad Lane, sliding Lane back to 2nd as Zach Michael will now jump out in front as Michael looking to try to hold off the 1 ride in the rest of the field. He knows that the only way he's going to have an opportunity to probably win this championship is being here at the front of the field, and if he can run his way into victory lane, and if Jacob Grube slides backwards, potentially it may open up the door for that number 34 ride to jump up and steal this championship away from Jacob Grube. But Grube right now has a pretty sizable lead, a fairly good comfort zone here this evening, knowing that he came into our first 2 playoff races here in this championship round. So this is race 3 of 3 of that championship round, and so far the 18 ride of Jacob Grube has won the first 2 races of this final round. He has been coming on hot at the right time, knowing that this is his opportunity to win this championship. He looked really good, really stout last season. Unfortunately missed one of our 2 championship races last year, and since he missed that race, it virtually took him out of contention for that championship last season. And this year he came with vengeance. He knew that he had a good shot last year. Unfortunately, some some existing commitments that he already had took him out of contention here this year. No prior commitments. He has been able to race all 3 of these events, and he's looking to make it 3 in a row, as you do see Brad Lane able to work his way back around Zach Michael, sliding Michael back into second. Now here comes Gruber around that 34 ride, and this is what we're talking about with the tires and how drivers can run different strategies, run different lines, and try to continuously navigate their way through the traffic, as we do see Alex Pelican right on top of the wheel here. Pelican going to jump up into about the 3rd position now, as Zach Michael, with a couple slow lap times, starting to slide backwards. Pelican and Nick Gardner both going to get around him here. Michael going to try to hold strong to the outside, but there goes that Napa ride as Nick Gardner jumps up into position number 4. So 4 out of our top 5 drivers right now are a part of our championship, as now you do see Jacob Grube navigating his way back to the front of the field. So Grube, with a nice move down low, will jump in front of that race line Chevrolet of Brad Lane, and Jacob Grube back to the point here this evening. This is a spot that our championship drivers do not want to see the 18 ride in, knowing that that's the car they're chasing for this championship, and having him at the front of the field, meaning that they have absolutely no chance of gaining ground on him and no chance of being able to move forward and maybe leapfrog him for the championship here this evening. As Pelican does jump up into 3rd here, he's going to be looking to try to hunt down Brad Lane. Nick Gardner right there in 4th. Michael sliding all the way back into that 5th position as John Herbert, Kevin Winker, K-Dub working his way up throughout the field here. Nathaniel Ostrowski to his outside. Bobby Blair right there, as well as Nicholas Snyder. Snyder, the farthest running, the deepest running championship 5 driver out there on the racetrack. That Snyder Bees machine all the way back in position number 10. Unfortunately for Nick Snyder here this evening, he knows he's going to have his work cut out for him. Needs to have virtually a picture-perfect run here this evening, and needs to hope that not only one driver, but a couple drivers run into issues, that they run into problems and not have the finish that they really want or need to be able to pick up this championship. If all 3 of them kind of go to the back end of the field and he wins the race, maybe it opens up the door for him to leapfrog a couple of them and maybe seal that championship away. But he's going to really need Jacob Grube, Alex Pelican, and I do believe the 34 Zach Michael to all have a fairly bad race here this evening. And right now, not the way he likes to see things, as they're all up inside the top 5. He's back here about that 8th, 9th position, trying to work his way now back around Kevin Winker in the 14 right on the thing, Ostrowski, but that could have been just part of his plan here, trying to maybe save a little tire, try to keep himself a little bit better here for later in this run. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do and if he can navigate his way up towards the front of the field. As you do see that 77 of Brandon Deming now working underneath that 75 ride of Mr. Bobby Blair, trying to work his way inside the top 10. Looks like he will make that move, and down across the line will jump into that 10th position. Blair back to 11th, as Ed Koshersberger, unfortunately early on here, started in that 4th position, has lost about 8 positions, and has slid all the way back into position number 12 on the racetrack, as he's got Tim Blankenbeckler there in that juke joint. Friends for Pets in number 10 machine right there on his back bumper. The Ridge PowerSports KR Gutters ride. That 469 of Ryan Peterson right there, ready to pounce. Kevin Winker, unfortunately, down onto the apron at a corner number 2. Almost went around. Luckily enough, able to catch it and rolls in that 14th position. Kyle Van Tassel and his Ridge PowerSports KR Gutters ride back there in 15th. And Neil Lapidus in that OSOCOutdoors.com. The Juke Joint Friends for Pets, number 26, bringing up the rear of the field back in that 6th 15th position. Huge shout out to all of our amazing sponsors here this season. We cannot thank them enough. The Ranger Creative Concepts, Pop Smoke 22, Tech Warrior, all these amazing sponsors coming in, making this happen. Obviously the Fresh for Pets, the Juke Joint, the Ridge PowerSports group with KR Gutters, and all of our other amazing sponsors. I do believe Muleburger Custom Homes also a part of our amazing sponsorship here this evening as well, and for this season. We cannot thank Bruce Muleburger, we cannot thank Dimitri Curtis and all the Fresh for Pets, the Juke Joint guys, for coming in and being a part of this series. I can't thank Ryan Peterson and all of the Ridge PowerSports KR Gutters team for being a part of the series here this year, and a huge shout out as well to all of the Tech Warrior, Pop Smoke teammates and drivers, and obviously everyone that over there at Pop Smoke 22 and over at the Tech Warrior stable for being a part of our series, man. Huge shout out to all of them, man. We cannot thank them enough. There's that beautiful Tech Warrior 19 right out there on the Speedway. Ed Gotchersberger looking very, very good out there on the Speedway, just outside our top 10 now as he's trying to work his way back up towards the front. Qualified very, very good. Has shown that he's got some really good speed out of that 19 ride. Looking for a little bit more though, hoping that he can find that extra little bit of a groove to jump up here and battle his way back towards the front of the pack. Is out in front. It is that Pop Smoke 22, number 18. It is Jacob Grube. Grube continues to hang on to the race lead here after 13 laps of racing action. Brad Lane there in second with Alex Pelican back in position number 3. Nick Garner there in fourth, and now we do see Nicholas Snyder working his way inside the top 5. Zach Michael back there in 6. So right now, out of our top 6, everybody in the top 6 except for Brad Lane, a part of our championship 5. And unfortunately here tonight and throughout this race, not only on the racetrack but in the point standings, Pelican, Gardner, Snyder, and Michael all looking to try to hunt down Jacob Grube, as Grube is our race leader and our points leader heading into this race, and they know that this is their last opportunity to try to jump up and steal this championship away from him. As Brad Lane right there, Brad looking very, very strong. Has had a couple great runs here late in the season. This race line number 1 machine has been hooked up and is going to be building some great confidence for next season. Hopefully we'll see Brad and maybe some more of his buddies and more of those race line rides out there on the racetrack for season 8 here of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. As season 8 just around the corner, I do believe a little birdie was tweeting my ear that we're gonna be firing back off somewhere in the middle of September. That means not too far away. Probably been a month away on Tuesdays, back again here on Peacemaker Gaming. So any of the drivers or fans in the stands, if you guys want to jump into the action, become part of Season 8 here with the HCK Beagles on Tuesday nights, man, make sure you guys get a hold of me, get a hold of Kevin Winker, or of any of these amazing drivers. They can get you into the Discord and get you into the action. And if you guys want to become part of the sponsorship program here at the HCK Beagles as well, make sure you guys reach out to us. Make sure you guys let us know. We can get you pointed in the right direction with the owners group and everyone else to be able to kind of get things set up and become a part of our sponsorship team here this season. As out in front, Jacob Grube looking to try to capture tonight's win and tonight's championship, as he is looking to be season 7 championship. It's crazy. We're already at season 7. It seems like not too long ago we saw this series. I want to say we've been here since Season 2, Season 3. It's been a while since we've been here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series, man, and it's been a lot of fun ever since we got into the booth and got into the action here with all these amazing drivers, and we can't wait to see what the future holds here for the HCK Beagles group and for all of these amazing drivers out there on the racetrack. They're all going to go on to do some absolutely amazing things, whether it's in this series or other series or running in, any of the pro series or even just in their real-life racing action. When we look back at some of these drivers, a lot of them do race in real life, especially when you look back at Nicholas Snyder. I do know Snyder does run sprint cars on the dirt surface, which is my bread and butter. That is my homegrown action right there. You know, sprint cars on dirt, anything on dirt really is where I grew up, is where I was born and raised, was on dirt track racing. And it's always good to see some of the dirt track guys, you know, in real life, and they're still on here on iRacing, enjoying their time here throughout the week. Obviously, doesn't wreck that car very often because he doesn't miss very many races, but nonetheless, he's got some wicked cars, and we've seen him get some big wins and everything else. And for that Snyder Bees machine, looking for another big win here tonight, knowing that the championship lurks just in the background out there on the racetrack. It's out in front. They're all chasing down the 18 ride, as you do see Snyder trying to work his way around Nick Gardner and Alex Pelican as the tire wear really starting to take effect here. 19 laps completed here this evening. We told you right around that lap 20 area, you'll really start to see major tire fall off, and we're starting to see that major tire fall off now of about 2 seconds. So the tire fall off has really started to kill these drivers in their rides here this evening. It's getting between that, you know, 1.5 to 2 seconds of tire fall off, and that's what's going to really start to open up the door here for drivers to potentially want to take their cars down pit road to make this first green flag pit stop. But a lot of it comes down to who will come down pit road first, who will make that move down pit side. As Mario Baptiste Jr., what's good, Mario? Mario coming in, showing the love. What's good, Mar? How are you, brother? Showing the love here this evening. Tech Warrior Technologies coming in with that share on the broadcast as well. We appreciate you, Tech Warrior Technology, showing the love here this evening. As man, this has been an absolutely amazing season. It's crazy to see it's already coming to a close, man. This is normally we don't see this action close this quickly, but man, it just seems like it has been flying by for us. Even with a couple weeks off for holidays and everything else, it has just been flying right on by, and it's gonna suck to be off for a few weeks, but luckily enough, it's not too long of a turnaround before we see these guys get back into action, which is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't even know how many races. Playoffs were 9 races alone. We were like 21 races or something on this season. We started our first race of this season all the way back on March 18th is when we started this season. March 18th. We're now into August, so we are looking at 5 months of solid racing action. 5 months on Tuesday nights, tuning in, jumping in to the action here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series, and that is absolutely wild. 5 months of hard-fought racing action, everyone just duking it out week after week after week. We've seen some crazy races with quite a few caution flags, and then we've seen other races where we've been clean and green and seen 0 yellow flags out there on the racetrack, and tonight could be another one of those nights. Tonight could be a night where we don't see a single caution flag out there on the speedway, which could make things very, very crazy here for our season finale, making it more of a fuel strategy, tire strategy. It's going to be a pretty crazy one, as you do see Brad Lane down low. Lane looking to try to take this race lead back away from the 18 ride, maybe saving a little bit more than Jacob Grube the last little bit, and now he's starting to push, trying to figure out a way to get back around him here. Wanted to jump out in front, trying to pick up our season finale checkered flag and keep kind of some of the smoke and some of the excitement from our championship drivers out of victory lane here this evening. As normally we've seen it a couple times. It's not very often, but normally one of our championship drivers, or potentially our championship driver, when it's a one and done championship race, normally we see the champion end up winning the race. But sometimes we do see these longer rounds. We do see some of these races, and even some of our single race season finales for the championship come down to our race winner not being a part of that championship 4 or championship 5, and them championship winner ends up coming home in like 3rd, 4th position, wins that championship still, because all the other championship drivers are back behind them or don't have as many points. So it's kind of how it could play out here tonight. We could see Brad Lane up and into victory lane, and our championship competitors having to duke it out back there behind them. But we got some green flag pit stops, I feel, that are on the horizon here for a lot of these drivers. Those green flag pit stops are coming up in a quick hurry, especially as we start to see Alex Pelican, Nicholas Snyder, Nick Garner. Some of these drivers starting to lose pace here, starting to fall back and fall away from our race leaders. As again, here comes another big run from Brad Lane. Lane looking to take the race lead back away and down the front straightaway. He gets the run he was looking for, and he steals that top spot back away from Jacob Grube. As here we go, we do see our first tanker down pit road. It is the Frets for Pets, the Juke Joint Ride, the 10 machine of Tim Blankenbeckler. Tim heads down pit road here, making the first green flag pit stop here this evening. We'll have to wait and see how many more drivers elect to kind of come down pit road, use this as an advantage here to try to put themselves into the action. And here we go. We're going to see a lot of drivers head down pit side. They're not going to wait any longer as Brad Lane, Jacob Grube, Alex Pelican, Snyder, Bobby Blair, Zach Michael, Brandon Deming, Ed Koschersberger, Kevin Winker. Here comes even more. Here comes John Herbert. Here comes Ryan Peterson. We'll see if anyone else comes down pit side. There you go. Here comes Kyle Van Tassel also down pit side. So virtually we see two drivers stay out longer here this evening. It's Nick Gardner and Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, two drivers staying out on the racetrack, not coming down pit road that time around. Here comes Neil Lapidus, also down pit side, a little deeper in the field as the race off of pit road is going to be a tight one. Jacob Grube and Brad Lane door to door, and it looks like Jacob Grube will have the quicker and potentially better pit stop right there. Jumps back in front of Brad Lane, has that race lead once again, now looking to try to hold off that number one ride as they storm down out of corner number 2 and back down the back straightaway. Great pit stop there for Alex Pelican as well. Tight to the back bumper of that number one ride, virtually closing about a second on our race leaders right there. Snyder a little farther back in position number 6. Zach Michael there in 7th, and then we do see Nathaniel Ostrowiecki and Nick Gardner both down pit side here as Gardner down pit road, looking to get a big run here, hoping that he can get down and out of pit lane and maybe keep that race lead, but it doesn't look like he will as our race leader, Jacob Grube, around the outside, able to jump up and around him, takes that top spot back away from Nick Gardner. We'll have to wait and see where Gardner kind of slides into here. Now he'll have one lap better on fuel, one lap better on tires, but I think we're going to see a lot of these drivers trying to break this race up a little bit. I feel like they're going to try to run a 25-lap stint every time. So we're probably going to see 2 more green flag pit stops. We're probably going to see these drivers back down pit road somewhere around lap number 52. I think they're trying to make it so that the first 2 stages are a little bit longer. They get that 1 extra lap in there. So probably going to about lap 52, maybe lap 53, 54, somewhere in there to maybe make it so they're a little bit better on fuel for later in this race and not have to worry too much later on. So as they will probably come back down pit road around that time, that means that they'll come down pit road again somewhere around lap 77, lap 80, somewhere in that area, which kind of gets them right into that fuel window where they're good on fuel. They don't have to worry about the gas any longer. Now it's all about your pace, your tires, and everything else that you can do to try to keep these drivers back there at bay. And that is going to be the name of the game here all evening long, as Jacob Grube does have the race lead here, has about 0.6 of a second between himself and Brad Lane. Lane and Alex Pelican right there tight together, about 0.6 behind them. You do see that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Now there's about a 2.5 second gap all the way back to our 5th place driver, that 27 of Nick Gardner, as Gardner able to keep himself just in front of Zach Michael, is still out there on the racetrack. Our championship 5 all inside our top 6. Our championship 5 inside the top 6, excluding that number 1 rider, Brad Lane. Lane is the only driver in the top 6 that is not a part of our championship 5 here at the front of the field, and he is looking to play spoiler here this evening as he continues to hold on to the race lead. As Bucky Bolin, Bucky says, hell yeah, B-Lane, heck yeah, brother, as we do see Tower Operator. What's good, Bruce? Bruce coming in showing the love, says, hashtag Winker Nation, and Go Blue, he says, Go Blue as well. The Michigan Wolverines in the house here this evening. Listen, is there a game going on, or what's up with the Go Blues in the chat? Is college football already started back up? There's no way college football has already started back up. If it has, that is crazy. That is crazy. There's no way. right? There's no way. Or is it just some drama between the Ohio State and the Michigan Wolverines? Is there some drama brewing there again, or what is the issue? I know that the college football, man, it's crazy down there in the U.S., Chad. It's crazy down there in the U.S. Up here in Canada, college football is a no-bueno. Barely even the NFL is a staple in houses here in Canada. It's hockey up here. Well, that's really what we care about. Hockey, hockey, hockey. Maybe a little bit of golf. Not much of any other sport. Maybe we dabble a little bit into liking the Blue Jays or into the Toronto Raptors, but there's not much other than that because we only got one sports team for baseball. We only got one sports team for the NBA for basketball. So, but for hockey, man, we got like 7 teams. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you what, I don't like any of them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mind Winnipeg. That's about the only Canadian team that I care for. Other than that, man, it's Philadelphia Flyers all day, every day. Go Birds, go Flyers. I don't watch basketball, but if I did, go 76ers. That is for certain. As Jacob Grube out in front, continuing to lead the way as Janelle, tower operator says Bob and Doug McKenzie. Listen, I love Bob McKenzie. Are we talking Bob McKenzie like the hockey Bob McKenzie? Or is that a different person, okay? I know Bob McKenzie from TSN, if that's who you're talking about. As Janelle says, laugh out loud, always drama between the two teams. Michigan first game is in 2 weeks. Okay, so do they run the same schedule almost as what the NFL runs? Or do they go a little bit longer? Do they play 18 games? I don't know. I don't follow college football very much, so I'm not too much. Great White North, baby. The Great White North, tower operator. You know it. Absolutely, brother. The Great White North, 100%. We love Bob McKenzie up here, man. Some good old TSN. That is for certain. As out in front, Jacob Grube continues to lead the way. Brad Lane there in second. Alex Pelican back in position number 3 with Nicholas Snyder. They are in position number 4 and continuing to look for more here today as all these drivers looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. Nick Garner there in 5th. Zach Michael, the farthest running back driver in our championship 5 here in that 6th position, knows that he needs to jump up on top of the wheel, needs to find that extra bit of gear, trying to work his way potentially into the championship contention, potentially trying to beat Alex Pelican or Nicholas Snyder here, knowing that there's still some points and money on the line and some extra prizes there for, coming home with maybe a better spot in that championship hunt. So if you can gain a little bit on them and potentially leapfrog at least one of them, may not win that championship, but again, second or third may be a big blessing there for that 34 ride. So we'll have to see what that quick tie ride can do as he's going to continue to roll right there in position number 6. Brandon Domingue back there in 7th. Pretty solid season there for Brandon Domingue. Good season as well for Bobby Blair. He's showing a lot of speed out of that 75 run. K-Dub Kevin Winker has been very up or down in that Muleburger Custom Homes number 42 ride. He's had some really solid races, and then we've seen him have some pretty tough races as well out there all this season, and it's been a big up and down season for him. But man, Kevin Winker, always so much fun to watch out there on the racetrack and always try to figure out what strategy game he's playing, where he's rolling, what's going through the mind of this 42 ride. And it's actually kind of crazy that we saw him come down pit road virtually with everybody else there on lap 26. I figured he'd be one driver that would maybe stay out a little bit longer, maybe run another handful of laps, but maybe it's just part of the strategy. Kind of do what everyone else does for the first half of this race and then maybe try to take a big swing on it later on in the evening. So we'll have to wait and see what K-Dub has up his sleeve here for late in this race as he does jump up, take position number 8 away from Bobby Blair. Blair in that Ridge PowerSports KR Gutters number 75 ride falls back to 9th with the Tech Warrior Technologies Pop Smoke 22 number 19 rider Ed Koschersberger back there in 10th. Nathaniel Ostrowiski, Tim Blankenbeckler, and that Juke Joint Friends for Pets right there in 12th. John Herbert and his Ridge PowerSports machine there in 13th. Kyle Van Tassel and Ryan Peterson a little deeper in the field here. Same with that OSOCOutdoors.com. Juke Joint Friends for Pets Chevrolet. The 26 and Neil Lappin is back in that 15th position. As group continues to show these drivers how to get it done here in this one, as Bucky Bolin says, I was born in Columbus, but hail to the victors. Actually a Gator fan. A Gator fan. Okay, little Florida Gator fan. All right. Listen, I don't know, man. College football, like, I don't really follow it too much, so I don't really necessarily have a favorite team. But if I were to probably have a favorite team in college football, I would probably say it's got to be Alabama, baby. It's got to be Alabama. Roll Tide, 100% for Alabama. And that's mainly because I have watched a few of the Alabama games, and I do have a signed Michael Waltrip t-shirt that is an Alabama ride back from when Michael Waltrip still raced and had Michael Waltrip Racing, and he ran an Alabama Roll Tide paint scheme at one of the Talladega races and ended up winning one of his signed t-shirts for that race, which is really, really cool. I still have it in one of my closets somewhere, stored away, but definitely a really, really cool thing. And having signed memorabilia from way back when with Michael Waltrip, man, that doesn't get much better than that. So that's probably the favorite team I'd have, but I don't really have necessarily a favorite college football team, that is for certain. But out front, Jacob Grube continue to lead the way. Brad Lane there in second. Alex Pelican in position number 3, as you do start to see Jacob Grube losing that race lead. Brad Lane starting to reel him back in here. About 40 laps done and over here this evening. So we're inching closer and closer to that halfway marker. And as we continue to get a little closer there, as Bunky says, my girlfriend is a Bama fan. Dad taught ROTC at Bama. And no, she is not my cousin. Oh, gosh. Okay, I wasn't going to go there, Bucky. I wasn't going to go there. Okay, no judgment. No judgment if she was or she wasn't, brother. Love is love, I guess. I don't know. It's up to you, man. Everyone, whatever you do behind closed doors, it's up to you. What is ROTC? Bucky, what is ROTC? What is that? I mean, I'm not too sure what that is. I'm not 100% sure what that is. So you'd have to fill me in on that one. What is ROTC? I have no idea what that is. As Jacob Grube trying to hang on to the race lead here, has Brad Lane all over his inside bumper here, looking to try to make that pass once again for the race lead as they'll drag race back down the front straightaway. But the 18 with a good run, able to hold off that one ride for at least another lap here this evening. So Jacob Grube still out in front, but Brad Lane really putting the pressure on him. We saw this late in the run. The first wave before green flag pit stops, he was able to jump out in front of the 18, take that race lead, and open up a little bit of a gap. And then the one ride was able to take it away from him. And then we saw the one, obviously late in that run, take it back away, have that bit of a gap before making that green flag pit stop. Lost the race lead to him again, though, and then kind of fell back, just kind of hanging out there. But now, once again, feeling and putting that pressure on his back bumper. Janelle says 12 regular season games, then playoffs. Ohio State and Michigan have been rivals forever, and they play each other the last game of every season. That's crazy. That is crazy. The last game of every season? How, like, who makes their schedule, man? Is that just something that they've gone with now? Like, it's been going for so long, they can't stop it? Like, they just got to keep doing it? Like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I know both teams, for the longest time, what's the division that they play in? See, like, I know a bit of college football, but I don't know a lot about it. I do believe Florida Gators in them. They're in a totally different division, are they not? They're in a they're not in the NCAA. I think that's what Michigan and Ohio State are in, right? And then the other ones are in like a Big 12. What is that series called for college football? Because I know there's like different programs and different, I don't know if it's different levels or if they're all still part of the same level, and then they all play together against in the playoffs. I'm not sure how that works out. You guys would have to fill me in on that one. I do have a football draft coming up here. We've done pretty good the last couple of years. I've just gotten into the NFL, so don't be harsh on me, okay? I follow football. I watch the highlights for a long time, but I never really knew the names or cared too much or watched the entire season kind of deal for my team or anything else. But lately, the last couple of years since getting into fantasy football, man, I have been watching pretty much every single game, every chance I get. You do see out there on the racetrack, it's Snyder who jumps up and steals that race lead. So Snyder now out in front, and this is the run that he needed to have as Jacob Grube slides back to second. He was sitting in third there for about a half a lap or so before getting back around Brad Lane, as Lane stays right there behind him in about that third position, as Bucky Bullen says stands for Reserve Officers Training Corps. Okay, that's pretty cool. A college program designed to train and commission college students as officers in the U.S. military. All right, sick. That is dope. We need to get you into football. Okay, I'm down for it. Listen, okay, I'm a huge Eagles fan. Always have been. It's been the only team that I cheered for, man. I don't know what it's been, but ever since I was young, I was a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and since I was young, I just automatically liked the Eagles. I automatically liked the 76ers, and pretty much any other, well, the Phillies, obviously. Huge Phillies fan as well. I do love baseball. Baseball was big for me growing up as well. So, huge Phillies fan, Flyers fan, and then Eagles now, especially over the last, 10 years or so, being more and more of an Eagles fan. And now that I'm actually watching more football, I used to always just watch until the playoffs kind of deal. I would watch until the playoffs, but now I watch pretty much every regular season game, especially this year that just passed, man. What a year to really want to put all my focus into, the Eagles, man. What a year for us. That was absolutely amazing, and we're going to do it again this year, chat. We're going to do it again this year, baby. Go Birds. Go Birds. It's Snyder. He's saying, go me, out in front, leading the way here. 48 laps going to be completed, this time by the start-finish line. So 48 laps off the board now as Jacob Grube sits back there in position number 2. And I'm pretty sure that's all he needs to do to pick up the championship here. If he could probably get a solid top 3 to top 5 run, I think that will definitely lock him in as the champion. Now, I could be wrong on the points, but I do believe that is somewhere around where the points are looking like. After winning the first 2 races of this final playoff round, these out of the 3 race stint, he's won the first 2. He could potentially win 3 out of 3 here for this championship round, but all he really needs to do is just have a good, solid run, come home with a good finish up inside the top 5, and he should be able to lock in that championship as Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grube, Brad Lane, their first, second, and third on the racetrack. Alex Pelican back there in position number 4, Nick Gardner there in 5th, and we see Zach Michael still hanging on back there in position number 6. Unfortunately, that is Neil Lapidus, and Ryan Peterson have both fallen a lap down out there on the racetrack. Actually, Ryan Peterson, I do believe, is 2 laps down now out on the racetrack. Heartbreaker there for Peterson, looking to have a good run here in this final season as Janelle says college football has conferences. Michigan and Ohio State are in the Big Ten. Okay, they're in the Big Ten. Okay, so they're in the Big Ten, and then there's is that part of the NCAA or is that part of man, what is the other one called? That's gonna bug me now all night long. What the heck is the other division called? That Florida Gators are in. I believe Bama's in there. College football. I don't even know what you'd want to call that. College football rankings? No. Divisions? Something like that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look up a lot more. As of 2025 season, there are 10 conferences and 136 schools. That is absolutely crazy. 136 schools. 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 136 schoo Man, that's wild. That is wild, man. That is a lot of teams, chat. It's a lot of teams. But out in front, we're starting to see some green flag pit stops. Once again, we told you somewhere around lap 1 or around 52, 51, maybe a little bit longer, we would see these drivers come down pit road. Now, as we complete lap 52, we do see Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grube, Brad Lane, Zach Michael, Bobby Blair, Brandon Ming all come down pit side. Here comes Ed Koschersberger also down pit road. So drivers making their second wave of green flag pit stops. We did see Alex Pelican, Nick Gardner, Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. They did stay out for at least another lap here. And now for Nick Gardner and Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, they did the same thing on that first run. So we'll have to wait and see if they try to double it up. Maybe run to lap 53, maybe run to lap 54 here. As we do see Alex Pelican, he will now come down pit side. So Pelican heads down pit road out there on the racetrack, as we do see Jacob Grube again. Another great pit stop there for the 18 ride. He does leapfrog that 5 of Nicholas Snyder, but Snyder right there on his back bumper as 1 and 2 coming out, or coming down pit road. They're going to come out vice versa here. Once again, Jacob Grube, another great pit stop, able to jump up into position number 4 as of now, but should slide back into the race lead once things cycle on through. As we did see Pelican down pit road, and there he is finally getting done his pit stop. We'll see where he kind of lines back in after sitting out on the racetrack for at least another lap. There goes Jacob Grube and Nicholas Snyder right on around Mr. Pelican. Pelican should be able to slide somewhere around that 3rd to 4th position out there on the speedway. We'll see where he can kind of migrate into. We'll see if Brad Lane can work his way around him. I'm not sure if Lane will get there, but there's going to be a pretty sizable gap here between Pelican and Brad Lane and our race leaders out there on the racetrack. There's about a 3-second gap now between Brad Lane and Jacob Grube. Nicholas Snyder out there on the speedway, so maybe a little bit slower of a pit stop there for Brad Lane and Alex Pelican as they both fall back. But Nick Gardner down pit road. He came down pit road a few laps later than everybody else, but now down pit side, he makes that pit stop, and this is going to be their penultimate pit stop on the season. This is the second to last pit stop here today. As man, this is going to be a lot of fun to see what these guys are able to do and how they're able to finish this one off. As yeah, there's a lot of great teams though. I mean, I remember last year I watched a bit of Boise State. Is it Boise or Boise? Boise, I do believe. Boise State. Obviously Ashton Genty being there and everything else. That was a lot of fun to watch that. You know, a couple of the other schools that we watched, obviously, you know, Ohio State Buckeyes. I did watch Michigan and Ohio State. I'm pretty sure they played in the championship, did they not? For the most recent championship, for the college football championship. Texas Longhorns, obviously some great history there. Obviously some great movies. There's some other great movies that we watched too growing up that are you know, college football movies that were really, really good. But yeah, what do we have here? We have so many different divisions. Big 12, the Big 10. SEC, that's the one I was thinking of, the SEC. That is the one that I was thinking of, chat. That's the one right there. That is the that's the division, the conference that I was thinking of for so long that I just could not think of. I could not think of that. Yes, the SEC. That's exactly what we were looking for right there. And then yeah, there's so many other ones. The FBS Independence Conference USA, Big 10, Big 12, the ACC, the American division. It's crazy, chat. It's crazy. There's so much to college football that I do not know. That is absolutely wild. But out in front, Jacob Grube hanging down the fort here. Still out in front, running some big laps again out there on the racetrack, trying to maybe open up a bit of a gap between himself and Nicholas Snyder. Snyder rolls there in second. Brad Lane all the way back here in third. Unfortunately for Brad Lane and for Alex Pelican, they have fallen about 3.4 seconds back of our race leader, about 3 seconds behind Nicholas Snyder out there on the racetrack here this evening. So there's a big gap here now between them and our race leaders. There you see it right there on the racetrack is a pretty good gap. A lot of car lengths, a lot of truck lengths. If they run into issues, potentially they can close the gap in a quick hurry, losing some of that speed and momentum out there on the racetrack. But as of right now, that is a big gap to gain. And for Nick Gardner, great pit stop there for Gardner, especially coming down pit road 2 laps laps later than Jacob Grube and Nicholas Snyder. About 2 laps later than Brad Lane, 1 lap later than Alex Pelican, and here he is rolling in that 5th position and looking to gain some more ground out there on the racetrack. Kevin Winker came down pit road right on lap number 50, came down pit road a couple laps earlier than everybody else. That slid him up into about that 6th position, but he's starting to feel the pressure from it. Rolling here in that 6th spot, he's got a few lap older tires now than the drivers back behind him, and they're going to be closing that gap, going to be reeling up to him. He's going to be falling backwards here throughout this run, so we'll have to wait and see what the strategy call may be here for K-Dub late in this race to try to make it into potentially victory lane or back up here onto the podium here this evening as Jacob Grube continues to lead this race. Grube out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one, man, as this has been a ton of fun, a ton of great racing out here, and these drivers been showing them how to do it here this evening as, man, some great racing. These guys, man, each and every single race, man, these guys continue to just keep on impressing more and more and more week after week after week. And it's absolutely crazy how talented and how good these guys get, especially throughout the season. Sometimes early in the season when we get new drivers, new groups, or anything else out there on the racetrack, they get a little bumpy. It gets a little bumpy out there for them from time to time. Obviously, a little contact and a couple, caution flags throughout a race. But for the most part, once we start to see 3, 4, 5 races under our belts, man, we start to see these caution-free races, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. We've seen some crazy races the last couple nights, man. We were at, I can't remember where we were at Sunday night, but we saw, 12 caution flags, something like that. A lot of laps under yellow for our Sunday night league. Last night we saw like 15 or 16 caution flags in our Monday night league from Bristol, which went by really, really quick because it was at Bristol. But, man, there was a lot of yellow flags there in that race as well. Then we come here on Tuesday nights, man, and be caution-free. It's absolutely insane. Just a testament to the talent of all of these drivers as Jacob Grube continues to hang on to the race lead. Snyder right there in second. Alex Pelican back in third. Then we see Brad Lane in position number 4 looking for more. Nick Gardner back there in 5th. As Gardner looking to try to move forward here. Looks down low underneath of Brad Lane for position number 4 here. Looks like he will gain that spot. Unfortunately for Brad Lane, he's falling backwards right now. Unfortunately for him, he kind of had a bit of a slow pit stop right there, and it kind of backed him up to the rear bumper here of Alex Pelican and Nick Gardner. And now, obviously, with Gardner having 2 lap better tires, able to get around him with Alex Pelican, even just that 1 lap better tire, able to have that extra little bit of an advantage. And that's the difference maker between the new tires to the old tires, and also to what potentially these drivers are trying to do. A lot of them are probably trying to save tires, trying to save their race cars for later in this race, not wanting to burn up their equipment too early out there on the racetrack and putting them into a position where they continue to slide farther and farther backwards. But as of right now, down across the line, lap 63 off the board, and these drivers are probably going to be coming back down pit road. I'm going to say somewhere around lap 76, lap 77, somewhere in that area. We're going to see all these drivers starting to make green flag pit stops again this evening, headed down pit road for the final time here on the season. Potentially on the season, we may see a late race caution flag that could really mix things up here today, so we'll have to wait and see if they catch that caution out there on the speedway. But right now, it's Jacob Grube trying to hang on to the race lead. Nicholas Snyder trying to take it away from him. Is down across the line. 64 laps are completed here tonight in our championship races. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we're going to crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming for the final time here this season with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful final. Crank it up here in Season 7 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series here this year. Is out in front, it is Nicholas Snyder. Snyder continuing to hold on to that race lead, but here we go, lap 76, and it looks like we're going to get our first taker down pit road, and it's Jacob Grube. Grube taking the early run down pit lane here. Everyone else going to roll out there for at least another lap or so. So Grube knows that he can make it about another 26 laps, so he knows he's good on fuel. He can make it to the end of this race without having to make another pit stop, and it looks like that's going to bring Kevin Winker caned up also down pit side here with them in that 42 machine. We also see Bobby Blair coming down pit road as well, so these drivers trying to get an early jump on these green flag pit stops, which could be their final pit stops of this season. Is out in front. Snyder continues to lead the way. Looks like he will stay out for at least another lap as he's going to continue to keep on rolling out there on the speedway. And it looks like he will be able to run down and potentially put this 18 right at Jacob Group a lap down if he tries to stay out a little longer. Maybe catches a caution flag, which is probably going to be unlikely here this evening as we're yet to see a yellow. But everyone's trying to beat this 18 right here, especially our other Championship Ford drivers, knowing that they're all chasing down this 18, trying to beat him here in this third race of a 3-race championship battle. And this is what it's going to come down to, potentially this final pit stop. Grube down pit road on lap 76. All these other drivers are running it a little bit longer here, at least trying to make it a couple extra laps, trying to give themselves that tire advantage late in this race. Is now here we go. You do see Snyder down pit road, Brad Lane down pit side. We fear we see these drivers somewhere down pit side around lap number 77, potentially even going another 26 laps again. So it looks like they're breaking this race up into 26, 26, and 26 laps to give them virtually about 24 laps to run this race out, and we'll have to wait and see how that helps them or hurts them here this evening. If Jacob Grube is able to get a big enough gap, potentially they never have enough time to hunt him down out there on the speedway. Maybe the fresher tires later in the run will help them run down that 18 of Jacob Grube and potentially put them back in front of him and maybe giving them that chance that they needed to try to win this championship. As there goes Grube right on down and around that 5 right of Nicholas Snyder. So this is going to be the gap that Grube is going to be able to build here between him and that 5 right. And down the back straightaway, it's looking like a pretty sizable lead so far between him and Snyder as it's growing inches by inches every single moment down this back straightaway until Snyder gets this car back up to full speed. He probably won't get there until about corner number 3 right here, where he's going to roll in the throttle a little bit. Now he's back up to speed, and it looks to be about 4.5 seconds the gap between him and Jacob Grube. But with 2 lap better tires, can he close that gap and hunt them down? As we did see Alex Pelican come down pit road the last time. We did see Nathaniel Ostrowiecki down pit side with them. This time looks like Nick Gardner, the final driver to make his green flag pit stop, finally heading down pit road here on lap number 80. So he's going to have the best tires over everybody on this final run by a lap or 2, or maybe even some of them better than 4 lap fresher tires. We'll have to wait and see if it works out for him. And right there may have cost him as he got a little too far in the box, had to throw it in reverse. That may take away half a second potentially off that pit stop, making him a little bit slower, and that could cost him potentially a podium or a race win here this evening. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to hurt him here today. As out in front, Jacob Grube with that race lead, commanding this race here this evening, trying to not only win 3 races in a row, but trying to sweep our championship round here with the HCK Beagles and locking himself in as our champion coming into the championship series. 3 races, he won the first 2. He's looking to win this 3rd one and leaving no doubt about it that he is the champion here this year. For Nicholas Snyder, he's on that catch-up game. He came down pit road a couple laps later than Jacob Grube. He is now trying to close in a 4.5 second gap, trying to hunt down that 18 ride here this evening as the laps continue to get clicked down here on the season. Slowly but surely in front of their eyes is Brad Lane right there behind them in position number 3. Lane also came down pit road there on lap 78. Now they got about a 3-second gap between them and that 16 of Alex Pelican. Pelican rolls back in position number 4. Nick Gardner a little farther behind him there in 5th. That was the driver that came down pit road on lap number 80. So he's got the freshest tires. Unfortunately for him, he's got about 10 seconds between himself and Jacob Grube. 6 seconds between himself and Nicholas Snyder, about 5 seconds between him and Brad Lane, and almost 2 seconds between himself and Alex Pelican. So even though he's got the fresher tires, the better tires here later in this run, is it going to help him? Is it going to give him an advantage to be able to jump up there and potentially pick up a solid podium to finish off this season? As Brandon Ming rolls there in 6th, Zach Michael back in 7th, and we see Kevin Winker, K-Dub, in position number 8. There's K-Dub rolling in that 8th spot. Ed Kochersberger rolling there in position number 9. Bobby Blair back in position number 10 with Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. John Herbert back there in 12th. As of right now, it looks like John Herbert currently in the lucky dog position right now. He's the first driver 1 lap down out on the racetrack. If he could catch a caution flag, potentially could get that lucky dog back on the lead lap and back into the battles here this evening, as Tim Blankenbeckler right behind him, also 1 lap down. Would love to try to get around this 87, knowing that could be potentially the difference maker between him getting that lucky dog or not. As here comes that 5 ride in a quick hurry. Nicholas Snyder trying to close the gap here on Jacob Grube, but now has a couple lap cars here kind of hindering his progress. It's going to make him try to change up his lines here in core number 3 and 4. Might hurt him, might help him here. We'll have to wait and see, especially as he comes off of corner number 4 and where he runs door to door with this 87 ride. Could potentially slow him down a little bit out there on the racetrack. That could end up hurting this car here in his hunt to the front, as right now he is closing the gap on Jacob Grube in a quick hurry. Now, I'm not sure if Jacob Grube is just trying to play this smart, maybe just trying to take care of his equipment, run a little bit easier out there on the racetrack. There's no way this quickly his tires would have fallen off as badly as they have, so I think he's just trying to mitigate the gap here, knowing that if he can save a little tire here, if he can take it easy for, 5-10 laps out there on the racetrack before Nicholas Snyder catches him, potentially by the time Snyder does get towards his back bumper, he can have equal to maybe even better tires than that 5 ride and be able to hold him off here late in this race. We'll have to see how this plays out, as we are down inside our final 20 laps of season 7 here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series. As Amanda Joy says, #Winker Nation cheering on K-Dub here this evening. Brett Winker, what's good, Brett? Brett says, let's go Winker, #Winker Nation with the horns up, baby. Horns up, Brett. Absolutely, brother. As we do see Mr. Winker back in about the 9th position. Looks like Ed Kochersberger able to get around him. A little bit better tire there on that number 19 ride. He's able to take it to his advantage. We do see Zach Michael off the pace here a little bit for the 78. Unfortunately, came down pit road on lap 78. He is the farthest back running driver in our Championship 5. Unfortunately for him, we see Jacob Grube, Snyder, Alex Pelican, Nick Garner, our other 4 drivers in the Championship 5, all inside the top 5 right now. And for Michael, just falling back now into that 8th position. But is this part of his plan? Maybe just trying to take it easy, trying to save some tire, hope that he can catch a caution flag. That may be his only bet, as right now he's running virtually 2 seconds to a second slower than everybody else out there on the racetrack. So he is way off the pace. We are starting to see now Kevin Winker running that kind of gap as well. Last time around ran a 42.67, where we see everyone else running 40.067, so virtually 2 seconds slower than the rest of the field here. Same with Bobby Blair. So potentially we do see Zach Michael, Kevin Winker, Bobby Blair maybe trying to aggressively save some tire here for late in this race. If they can catch a caution flag, if they get that yellow out there on the speedway, could give them the advantage with good tires here late in this race. If we see our race leaders not come down pit road, not put tires onto their race trucks, potentially that could give Michael, Winker, and Blair the advantage here later in this evening. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how this gets played out, or potentially they didn't even take tires on that last pit stop. Maybe they only had 3 sets down pit road. If they didn't use that fresh set of tires, maybe they're just hoping to catch that caution flag and use the fresh set here for late in this race. We'll have to wait and see how this gets played out, as Bobby Blair not too far away from potentially going a lap down as our race leader. Jacob Grube not too far away from his back bumper, and for Grube continuing to run quite a bit slower slower lap times, aggressively slower than that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. And Snyder has closed the gap from over 4.5 seconds now down to less than 1.5 seconds. So he has shaved off about 3 seconds or better off of Mr. Groob's race lead, and it continues to shrink as now he's getting a little help here as well from that 87 of John Herbert. Herbert kind of glued to his back bumper, helping push this Snyder Bees ride back up to our race leader Jacob Groob's back bumper out there on the speedway. As Groob, he knows that he's going to have to get it on like Donkey Kong here if he wants to make this 3 wins in a row and solidify him here as the champion on the season. He's going to need a big run right here. He's going to need to see if he can find that extra little bit of speed, especially over the last 10 laps or so, as I'm assuming we're going to see Snyder catch him here with about 10 laps left in this race. The way that he's been tracking him down, it's probably going to be about that 10 laps to go here in this race. As down across the line, lap number 90 clicked off the board here, so only 12 more laps left to go. And the 5 right of Snyder is closing the gap, is hunting him down. Brad Lane there in third. He's trying to close that gap. Here comes Alex Pelican there in that 16 right, and Nick Gardner all the way back here in position number 5. Let's take a look and see how is this going to play out for these guys, man. How is this going to work for them as you do see that 75 right, unfortunately here for Bobby Blair. Bobby does fall a lap down back in the 11th position, so that he is a lap down. He is no longer in that lucky dunk position as well, so that's a big heartbreak there for him. Obviously strategy not going his way for Kevin Winker. We'll see if he can keep himself on the lead lap here, see if he can get lucky with a late race yellow here this evening, or if this is going to hurt him here in the long run. Potentially could go a lap down here in a quick hurry. Same with Zach Michael, our 5th farthest back driver in our championship 5, as Jacob Groob continues to lead the way. That is the gap between first and second. The 18 of Groob, the 5 of Snyder down the back straightaway here into corner number 3. Nice and easy. Snyder closing that gap about 0.6 of a second now between himself and Jacob Groob. Does Groob start to turn up the wick? Does he start to try to use up some of these tires here a little later in this race, knowing that he's been trying to save, trying to kind of just allow this 5 ride to potentially reel him down here, and maybe once he catches them, just kind of blowing his doors away and pulling away with this one? Or do we see Snyder just play his cards right and having the 2 lap better tires? Does it help him potentially catch up to this 18 ride and make the pass and steal the race win away from Jacob Groob? We're about to find out here, as there is only 10 more laps left here in this race, and only 10 laps left here in Season 7 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. Nice and easy down through 3 and out of 4. 0.5 of a second between Groob and Snyder is down across the line. They will click off lap 93, and only 9 laps left to go here in Season 7 here at the HCK Beagles Truck Series. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheer these drivers on, man. Cheer them on and let them know in the comment section right now how much you guys appreciate the hard racing, the great racing that they've put on week after week after week for us here this season, man. I do believe it's 21, 22 races here on this season that these drivers have been showing up and showing out week after week after week. We started this series, this season, about 5 months ago, and it's been non-stop amazing racing for the last 5 months here at the HCK Beagles Truck Series, and it all comes down to this. Down across the line, 8 laps left to go here in this race. Jacob Groob trying to pick up this championship. Now, he does not need to win this race to win the championship. Snyder could get around him. Snyder could steal the win away from him, maybe get a little bit of the thunder away from the 18 ride and putting himself up and into victory lane. If he was to win this championship, he would need something catastrophic late in this race to happen to Jacob Groob, to happen to Alex Pelican, to happen to, I do believe, that number 34 of Zach Michael, for him to even have a chance to leapfrog those guys and jump up and win this championship. So he's going to need something bad to happen to him right now, but here he comes, trying to work to the back bumper here of Groob. Now, does Groob got something left in the tank? Can he find that extra little bit of speed? He's been running consistently the last few laps about 2 tenths slower than that 18 ride, and I'm not sure if he's got anything left for him. It may just be Snyder's race to win here this evening, playing the strategy perfectly, coming down pit road a couple laps later than Jacob Groob. And here we go down the back straightaway. Looks like that 5 ride able to get a great run here in the 18 ride. doesn't look like he's got much for him, and it looks like the 87 going to continue to follow this 18 ride, or this 5 ride right on through, and John Herbert virtually kind of drafting a little bit with that 5 ride, maybe giving him a little extra speed out there on the speedway. Now going to work himself almost back on the lead lap. He's up into about the 11th position, but he's been running some of his best laps here throughout this race. He's been showing some great speed there out of that 87 ride. Unfortunately for John Herbert, he is still a lap down, but if we can get a caution flag, it would give him the lucky dog back onto the lead lap here this evening as Snyder does consume that race lead here late in the race, but it may be for not. It may be for bragging rights. It may be for a little bit of extra pride and confidence going into season number 8 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. But here in season 7, with our potential champion right there behind him, our points leader coming into the season finale, it's going to be a little too little and a little too late for that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Even if he does capture tonight's victory, unfortunately, not enough points, not enough of a gap between himself and the rest of our competitors that were in front of him in these points late in this race to be able to take advantage of it and put himself into that championship role here this season. As Snyder leads us down the back straightaway group, trying to hang right there with them. Brad Lane back in position number 3, trying to hunt them both down here, looking for another great finish here late in the season for that race line number 1 ride. Alex Pelican there in position number 4. Nick Gardner back there in 5th. Brandon Ming in 6th, Nathaniel Ostrowiecki and Koshersberger. Zach Michael there in 9th. Kevin Winker, K-Dub, still in the lead lap, rolling there in that 10th position, but he may go a lap down here in a quick hurry, but luckily enough for him, I think we're going to see this race come to a close before he does go a lap down back there in position number 10. And if we catch a caution flag right now for Kevin Winker, for Zach Michael, it could be a big blessing for them out there on the racetrack, for them to potentially jump up and into the action to potentially, steal this race away. If they make a late race pit stop, they got tires left back behind pit wall. It could be their race here, even with a green-white checkered. They should be able to make some big headway in a quick hurry, but I'm not sure if they're going to catch it. We've been clean and green now for 99 laps, and we see only 3 more laps left to go. So only 3 more laps left to duke it out here in season 7 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series, man. We are coming down to the end in a quick hurry, man. This is going to be epic, as here comes Groob looking for a big run, hoping to find something down the back straightaway, trying to close that gap. I know Groob, even though he's running for this championship, he is still a fierce competitor, still wants to find himself up and into victory lane, but we'll have to wait and see if he can get there. Snyder going to try to hold him off. It's going to be just for pride and the race win, as the championship up to this point virtually locked in for Jacob Groob. All he's going to do is just keep himself up here in this battle. Cannot make a wrong move, cannot put himself into a position where he gets a penalty or he gets turned around or something where he falls deeper in this field, as right now all he's got to do is virtually come home in 2nd, maybe even fall back to 3rd, give Brad Lane that 2nd spot out there on the racetrack. It will not matter, because he should be locked in as our champion here after this race in this top 3 performance out of that 18 ride of Snyder. Nice and easy down into corner number 3 and down and out of corner number 4 here at Michigan International Speedway. Down and out of corner number 4 and back down across the line. We will see the final white flag on the season, our final lap here in season 7 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series, as Nicholas Snyder leads us down into corner number 1, nice and easy out of corner number 2. Our prospective champion back there behind him, Jacob Groob, trying to hunt him down, looking to three-peat our championship route, as he's looking to make a big move down the back straightaway. Look out, as here comes Groob. Groob says, hold my beer, I'm looking to win this race and looking to win this championship. Going for a bit of a slide job here in 3 and 4, as Snyder gets into the fence. It opens up the door for Groob, and there he goes. Jacob Groob, the final lap pass, will steal the race lead and win the championship here in season 7. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Jacob Groob, as he doesn't only win this race, but he wins the HCK Beagles Truck Series 7th championship here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Jacob Grube as he gets it done here this evening. Winning the race, winning the championship, putting that Pop Smoke 22 Tech Warrior ride up and into victory lane, man. What a run and what a race for Jacob Grube, and we knew he was hanging on to something. He had something left in the tank there for Nicholas Snyder, made the move and took advantage of it on the final lap, and he sweeps our championship round. 3 races, 3 wins for Jacob Grube to leave no doubt about it, as he is our champion here this season, and will now get ready to celebrate here on the front straightaway of Michigan International Speedway. Of all these fans, they're all on their feet cheering on this ride as he gets the dub here this evening, and we can't wait to pull Jacob Grube up not only as our race winner but our champion here in season 7, as here comes one of his teammates, that Pop Smoke 22 Tech Warrior Technologies number 19 of Ed Kochersberger to celebrate here with them this evening, man. What a run and what a drive here in this one, man. That was a ton of fun. We saw Jason LePan, their other teammate, unfortunately not in attendance here tonight on the racetrack, but he was in the chat cheering on Jacob Grube, and Grube gets it done here in this one. His tower operator says, good season. Thanks, guys. Tower operator, we appreciate you, Bruce. We appreciate the entire Muleburger Custom Homes family here on the season coming in, being a part of it, man. We always love seeing you up in the comments section, watching and cheering on all those Muleburger rides each and every single race, Bruce. And we can't wait to see you back in here, hopefully for season 8, which is just around the corner here in a few weeks from now. Actually, I do believe about a month from now is when we'll get things fired back up for season number 8 here at the HCK Beagles Truck Series, as Dimitri Curtis says, what a battle, what a race there, man. And Albert Anderson says, wow is exactly the way we should all feel there after that late race move for Jacob Grube to win this race and put himself up and into victory lane and to win this championship, as we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews, man. What a run, what a drive here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Jacob Grube. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you.
Jacob, man, what a run, what a race. Is not only do you sweep our final 3 races of the season, but it solidifies you as our champion here in season 7, winning tonight's race and winning this championship. Jacob, take us back through it. How do you feel being crowned season 7 champion here at the HCK Beagles Racing League?
Wow, I mean, what a season. You know, it's been a ton of fun. It's been a season of up and downs. Looking back at kind of started off, I had to miss a race, and then I got some penalties and stuff, and yeah, just was way down there in the points, and I just kept trying to keep my nose clean and get clean finishes, and I worked my way up barely. I think I was 9th or 10th, I think, to get into the playoffs. So just got in there and then just really buckled down on my practicing, getting ready for these things, and yeah, it looks like the hard work paid off. Feels great.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard work definitely paying off for you. Obviously, all that time in the sim, working on your setups and working on just, racecraft out there each and every week, especially for these 3 championship races, pays off big time here. Is not only do you just go in and battle for this championship, you dominate it. You win all 3 races, keeping the other championship 4 not only out of victory lane, but really out of the spotlight here in this playoff. As man, it was absolutely insane. You saw Nicholas Snyder there battling with you a couple races. He ran into issues, and late in this race, you're able to make the big move on him there. We kind of thought you probably saved a little bit. We saw you quickly falling off the pace. We knew that you had 2 lap over tires than what Snyder did, but he was catching up to you in a quick hurry, and it just seemed like really quickly you fell off the pace. I didn't think it was the tires. I thought maybe it was you saving, and it looked like you saved just enough there for that final lap move. You hung with them. You knew you had yourself in striking distance, and then down and out of corner number 2, you executed perfectly, getting down to his inside, even with the block from the 5 right. You're able to open up the door, and then down through 3 and 4, you go to just battle with them and trying to drag race back to the start finish line. He pushes up the racetrack, gets a piece of the outside fence, and it allows you just to skate on by and drive home to the checkered flag here this evening, man. Take us back through that late race move and all the strategy here tonight that was going into this race.
Yeah, such a clean race. That was great to just be able to race it out on track. To be honest with you, I almost blew that big time. Um, I wanted to short pit Snyder because I knew that he was better on longer run tires, but I felt like I was faster in the beginning. So if I could just create more of a space between us, then I might be able to get away just far enough. So I short pitted him, but I actually didn't get enough fuel. So I almost messed that up big time. And so I was saving fuel. That's the reason why he caught up to me. But had I run out of gas, then that would have been not only the race but the championship. So yeah, it could have been bad there.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have been bad in a quick hurry, as we knew the points were still very tight, obviously, even with you winning the first 2 races here. Coming into this race, obviously, we saw, Pelican right there behind you in both those races, so really he needs you just to have a fairly bad night here tonight. Same with the 34, Zach Michael Snyder. Need a little bit more out of you to have a opportunity to steal this win away and the championship away from you here this evening. And I'm not sure what the points were exactly at, but I figured here throughout this evening with those 2 wins, that really all you had to do was to lock in that championship. It was probably a top 3, top 5 run, and you probably would have had that locked in here this evening. What was the points looking like, and how much stress did that put on you here throughout this race?
Actually, the points were really close considering the wins, but that's just testament to everybody in the final round. Everybody was really good. I mean, I was able to win, yes, but they were all like contentious fights, and it was just came down to pit strategy last week, and then this week it was just a last lap pass with maybe slightly better tires. So like yeah, it was. I had 6 points advantage coming into this race, but if Pelican had got some of those bonus points, then it was going to be really close. So I knew that, yeah, I just had to come here with the intention of trying to win it, and not necessarily putting myself in a spot to wreck or anything like that. And I probably raced there harder than I should have, but that's just me and just having fun. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it in those closing laps. We thought you had something left in the tank. We talked about, you probably could have just backed out of it and just cruised home to the championship, but knowing that you're such a hard competitor and that you don't want to not win a race, you still want to win a race, even though there's a championship title on the line or anything else. You still want to be up here in victory lane first. You want to be the driver down, picking up that checkered flag and celebrating on the front straightaway. As it looked like you came down trying to do a bit of a burnout. Is that where you ran out of fuel right there?
Yep, that's where I ran out.
So she was tight there for Jacob, but man, you got her done, and you had just enough to make that move, jump up, win this race, and win that championship. Jacob, who would you like to thank for not only such a great race and great performance here tonight, but so many great races and great drives throughout this season as you're able to pick up tonight's win and championship?
All right, well, appreciate that. I got a little list here, so I'll try not to be too long. But first and foremost, I thank God. Very blessed to be able to do this. So thanks to the man upstairs. Next, I want to thank the admins. Not only for the organizing of the races and putting all the stuff out there on social media and everything, but also having to do the after race stuff. I know that's got to be hard. So just really appreciate them. Really appreciate them putting on this league, and it's a great league, really. I want to thank my team. That was what practice and helped me out, and they show support for me. So thanks to them. Couldn't have done without them. I want to thank you up there in the booth making the call. Really entertaining to go back and watch these. So I appreciate you. And all the other fellow competitors out here, who come out every week and have really clean races. I mean, I can't remember how many races off the top of my head that we've had completely green, but I mean, you're not going to find that too often on iRacing. So hats off to them. Great job there. And then finally, just want to thank the all of the sponsors, but particularly Pop Smoke and Tech Warrior for supporting and sponsoring the truck this year. So thanks to them, thanks to everybody. Great season.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good season, and such a great way to cap it off here for yourself, obviously, with the free Pete and winning this championship and parking that Pop Smoke 22 ride up in Victory Lane here this evening. We talked to you, I feel like probably a couple months ago when we talked about how last season you came in, you made your way into that championship round. 2 races, not 3 last season, and you missed the first race and virtually took yourself out of the championship contention there last season. So you came back with vengeance here this year, and you were able to just accomplish everything that you wanted to do last year. Didn't get the opportunity to race for that championship, but here you are this year, making it all count when it mattered the most, and finding yourself 3 times in a row here to finish off this season and win that championship. Jacob, man, it was an absolute blast to watch you all season long, and we can't wait to hopefully see you back out there looking to try to back up your championship here in Season 8.
Definitely be back next season. I think Nick Snyder's coming out too, so we're gonna have a little battle off again to see. He won the last one, I won this one, and you could see we were right here at the end battling each other. So it should be a good one.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see who ends up on top. It's almost like a Rocky series here between the two of you guys duking it out year after year, and we can't wait to see who's going to be able to win the third one of this edition.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations on the championship once again, Jacob. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our champion, Jacob Grube. It's Grube picks up the championship here this evening as Edward Koshersberger in the chat says, congrats, Jacob Grube. What an attack to your title run. Great racing, great team. I wouldn't trade any 3 of them for the world. They can't ever take that from us. They can never take it from you, man. What a run, what a race there for the entire Tech Warrior Technologies team, the Pop Smoke 22 drivers, and Edward, Jacob, Jason LePan, all the amazing drivers there on their team here for what was an incredible season. And obviously Jacob capping it off here with that championship, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher here in this race, as it was Brad Lane coming home in position number 2. Let's get Brad up here into the broadcast booth real quick. Hey Brad, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Brad, man, strong run again here this evening. Obviously late in this season, not a part of this championship. We talked to you there last week about it. We talked to you about how difficult it is to drive around these guys, not only battling just for championship points and everything else, but here tonight you gotta deal with this being the season finale. You want to finish off strong. You want to come home with a solid race and potentially a race win, and you came home, very, very close to pulling it off. I think if this race had maybe a couple more laps left in it, you would have been there, or maybe in striking distance once Jacob Grube made that move, really drew you in right to their back bumper. You're able to steal that second spot away from Snyder. You're right there on Grube's back bumper and almost captured the win here tonight yourself, man. But take us back, honestly, through this one. Another tough race, battling right in the middle of all these championship drivers, not wanting to ruin their chances, but also trying to finish strong here on the season.
Yeah, another tough position. I mean, being around those guys and don't want to be the bad guy and screw up. I mean, obviously not do anything intentional, but just make a uncalculated move and take out Jacob. I raced with him, close with him for a while, and also Pelican. But yeah, it was tough. I just wanted to give those guys some space, but also would try to be aggressive when I could. And I slid my pit box on the second pit stop, and I think that costed me like 2.5 seconds, and that's what really set me back. But I was just talking to Jacob, and I think he was probably going to run out of gas going into turn 1 at the start finish line. So I think I needed one more lap, and I may have gotten this one, but the truck was really fast on a long run.
Yeah, the truck definitely looked very, very strong all night long. Obviously, we saw you battling there for a while early in this race with Jacob Grube throughout that first run and the second run there, and then obviously that mistake down pit road, and you're able to rebound from that, still hunt these guys down late in the race, put yourself up here into second to finish off this season, which was a very, very strong season for yourself here. A lot of races up here into the broadcast booth, having a solid, performance week after week after week, man. Who would you like to thank not only for a great run here tonight, but all season long?
Yeah, just I mean the league for inviting me, teammates. I got some family members and friends that look forward to Tuesday nights and tuning in. And congrats to Jacob on the win and the championship run. And hopefully I'll be back next season.
Yeah, hopefully we see you back out there, Brad. Hopefully we see you right up here, in the broadcast booth, chasing down more checkered flags and maybe into the playoffs again and trying to win the championship yourself for Season 8, which is just around the corner. I do believe about a month from now we should get things rolling again, so hopefully we'll see you right back up here Tuesday nights having some more fun here with the HCK Beagle Truck Series.
I sure hope so. Thank you. Have a good night.
Absolutely, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Bradley Lane as Brad Lane comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for him as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here this evening, our third place driver on the night, and our third place driver in our points battle here this year. Let's pull in Nicholas Snyder. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Nick, man, solid effort here this evening. Another fast truck, another great race for you there. And late in this race, it was like, man, it's just Jacob Grube, man, on fire here, right time. And unfortunately for yourself, not the runs that you were looking for here in this championship. But you're able to get a great run here tonight. Obviously, Zach Michael not having the run that he was hoping for, banking on that late race caution flag. Never got it. And it does bounce you up here into third in the points. But, man, take us back through it. What's going through your mind right now after, obviously, a tough championship round?
Yeah, it was definitely tough, especially the final 3 races, starting with or I guess the first race, getting a penalty there and just people overdriving with their head and just trying to pass on the apron. It all goes back to Texas. And, when you only have a 3-race stint, you got to be perfect. And that was Jacob. So, congratulations to him. Just more pissed off at myself because coming to the white flag, I thought it was the checkers, and I kind of lifted and allowed him to get back to my bumper and just, killed my momentum and 1 and 2, and he just had a huge run down the back.
Oh, man, we did not know that. We thought maybe he just saved something left there in the tank for you on that final lap to give him that run to steal the win away. And unfortunately, not only does it cost you the race win, but it also cost you second here this evening. But, man, tough break here. Obviously, another mistake to finish off this season, but hopefully, we'll see you back out there for Season 8, and you get to try it again, as I know you and Grube have been virtually duking it out. I said to him it was kind of like a Rocky storyline, Rocky Balboa, where it's the two of you guys has been duking it out, the last 2 years, and now we got to see you guys both back out there for Season 8 to try to see who can win this three-peat here between the two of you.
Yeah, Jacob's fast. He's got me on the road course by far. There's no question about that. You can give the wins to him on that, and he'll still win it. But yeah, I just got to clean up mistakes. That's last season I had a perfect season. Rare mistakes. Awesome on pit road and off, and I was good on pit road. This year it's just stuff that I get caught up in, or lap traffic kind of played a role, about mid-season to the championship race when I just kept getting collected and, other people's stuff and, just nothing to do with them. Just wrong place, wrong time and reality of it. But, that's racing. Have your ups and downs. And unfortunately, I never had a basically upward spiral from there from mid-season on.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for you. And obviously not the hope that you were hoping here to have in this final 3 races of the season, but you come home still with a solid, obviously, third-place run here tonight, third place in the championship points as well. And as the season comes to an end, Nick, who would you like to thank not only for another good run, another good race here tonight for you, man, but, such a, good season here, in the longevity of things, man, having such a great season again here in the HCK Beagles for Season 7.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to thank Billy Bees, Snyder Bees Racing, Ian Williams, Julie, and Dean, and my mom and dad for, like I said, allow me to do what I love to do, in real life is, race that 360 sprint car. And we got a race coming up here in, I think, 3 weeks. So, I'd like to thank you for taking your time out on every Tuesday night, to broadcast our race. And hopefully each time that we hit the track, we put on a hell of a show. And got to thank all the admins that make us race on Tuesdays and gives us a reason to race.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And there's no better place to be than here with the HCK Beagles, watching you guys duke it out every single Tuesday night for the last virtually 5 months. And now we get about a month off before I do believe we're going to go back to battle for Season 8. Now, do you think potentially, obviously with real-life racing and everything else, maybe just a little less time on the simulator contributes to some of the mistakes or some of the issues that you had here late in the season? And now with, Season 8 just around the corner, head into the off season for in real life racing, does it kind of lock you back in here to that mistake-free racing that we saw in Season 6?
No, I don't think, real life, even in Season 6, I only race Tuesdays. I only hopped on once a week. And if I do hop on, I mostly race dirt anyways. And, it's rare that I race asphalt. This is about the only league that I do race asphalt. Most of the time I'm racing dirt. So, I don't think it's that. It's just, this year, it's just I've been caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, there's just a few things that I can work on my end that I did different this year or this season than Season 6. Just, I got to I got to get back to my aggressive ways instead of just trying to be patient um, and stuff. So, like I said, it's just a few minor things that I got to work on my end, and hopefully I can back it up with a championship Season 8.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack. We can't wait to see you battling again here on Tuesday nights and trying to chase down the next championship here in Season 8, brother. Strong Season 7, though, man. It was a lot of fun watching you out there each and every week, and we can't wait to see you back out there in a few weeks' time, battling here again in the next season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher here this evening. That number 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Snyder not only coming home third here tonight in the race, also coming third in the point standings. We can bring up our championship 5-point standings here. Just give me 2 seconds, because we can bring these up for everybody to see so they can see the actual points here, and we can give you guys a quick display on that. 2 more seconds. Let me find it here. All right, let me pull this up here for you, chat. This is our final points right here. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Oh, too big, maybe? Too big? Something like that. There we go. All right, so that is our championship 5 points right there, ladies and gentlemen. So Jacob Grube coming home, commanding championship win there. I don't even know what that is. 13-point lead there, 13-point gap between himself and Alexander Pelican. Pelican coming home second here in that championship battle. So a great season for Alex, obviously picking up a win along the way. Coming home second in this championship is, I believe, his first season here with the series. Snyder coming home there in third, 5 wins on the season for Snyder, but man, it is all Jacob Grube. His Grube picking up that championship. 13-point difference there between himself and Alex Pelican, and obviously 6 wins on the season, winning his 6th race, I do believe, here tonight. He even missed a race on the season, but here in the playoffs, things get rebalanced, but man, and that is absolutely insane. And Zach Michael, man, Zach had a great season as well, obviously playing the opposite side of the strategy here this evening. I believe he still had to set the tires back behind pit wall. He was banking on that late race caution flag to hopefully give him an opportunity to jump up there and gain some positions and put himself into the battle. For Nick Gardner, man, Nick, just a tough season for Nick. Obviously, some great runs, some great races. We saw him back up into victory lane, but we look back at Texas where Snyder ran into his issues. We saw Nick Gardner running up at the front of the field, leading that race, battling with Jacob Grube for that race win, and then getting collected with lap traffic into the outside fence, destroyed that race truck, and took him out of the race. And I do believe he finished last or penultimate there, the second to last driver, and unfortunately, For Nick, that was just such a big deficit that even if he would have won these last 2 races, I still don't think he would have really had a opportunity to battle back into that championship hunt for Mr. Gardner. But man, what a season, what a run for not only these 5 championship competitors, but for all of these drivers here throughout the season, man. Each and every one of the competitors, whether or not they were here tonight or just throughout this season for a race or two, when we look at the Dirt Track Junkies guys, man, the Dirt Track Junkies crew, we can't thank them enough for, their sponsorship, them being a part of this series, and them coming in and racing races with us. When we look back at, Josh Ely and Josh Ledoux and, Josh Peacock we saw out there. We saw, so many of those Dirt Track Junkies rides out there. Hopefully we'll see them back here for Season 8, and obviously so many of these other drivers, we hope to see them right back out there. All the Friends for Pets guys, all these other amazing drivers, the Ridge PowerSports, KR Gutters team, the Juke Joint, Friends for Pets, the Tech Warrior rides. We want to see all these guys back out there. The Muleburger Custom Homes Machine and Kevin Winker. We know K-Dub, he'll be back, and let's see if we can actually get K-Dub up here into the booth real quick. I do believe he was in the channel still. Let's see if we can drag him up here into the booth real quick for a little post-race interview himself here about the series and about the league. Hey, Kevin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Kev, man, absolutely amazing season. Season 7 coming to a wraps here tonight. Obviously, strong run for yourself. Obviously, strategy there late in the race just did not go your way. Hoping to get that caution flag. But, man, take us back, through this season and everything that you guys have to do as admins behind the scenes and everything else. I know you guys probably want to see something here as the season comes to a close and maybe promote Season 8 that's right around the corner.
Yeah, man, it's been an up and down season for me. Right from the get-go. I had a good run at Daytona, and then I don't know, just kind of was trying different strategy stuff, and then I kind of got on the extra payouts that we had for least incident points and stuff like that. So I was just kind of focused on that, and then just my strategy, didn't really work. I mean, tonight was example. I was trying to save a set of tires and didn't get that caution. I mean, I had nothing to lose, so I figured I'd try it. But yeah, this kind of how my season went, up and down. Still finished, I think, 7th overall in the points. So, I mean, even for kind of the up and down season, that's pretty good for myself. I finished with 21 incident points over the whole 22 races, that's crazy to me to think that I did that many. I only missed 1 race, so I'm proud of that. Yeah, it's been a great season. I know going into the season it was going to be a tough battle with Grube and Pelican, Snyder, and Michael and Gardner, all them guys, and a couple guys that weren't even in the final 5. I know Domingue, me, myself, So it was definitely a challenging season. We had a lot of different tracks. We had some street courses, some road courses, some short tracks, all that. But overall, it was a great season. I mean, there was a lot of races that went flag to flag or one caution, which is unheard of in a lot of leagues. And that's what I love about this league is that we can race, without it being a wreck fest. I mean, obviously you're gonna have some races that are bad, but for the majority of this season, it was excellent racing through the whole field, and just put a testament, to the guys that we have in this league, and kind of the penalty system. I think that also helps too. Is the penalty, like, we're pretty harsh on penalties, so I think that makes guys drive more with their heads instead of their what. So yeah, overall, like I said, it was a great season. Congrats to the group for winning the championship. Alex Pelican got 2nd, Nick Snyder got 3rd, Zach Michael 4th, and Nick Gardner round up top 5. But all those guys should not be ashamed. They all ran an excellent season, a great season. All of them got wins. So props to those guys for making it final 5 and putting on a great show. And yeah, we're looking forward to season 8. We don't really have everything put together yet. We were thinking about starting September, but I think we might push it back to October or something. So we got to work out some stuff. And if anybody's interested, like I said in the pre-race, just get with me or Greg or you to join the Discord. And we accept anybody as long as you're under 4,000 I rating. And hopefully you can get some more sponsorships next year to get some more extra prize money. I know we put out a lot of extra money this season. Example, we had most poles, cleanest driver myself, highest average finish, rookie of the year, most top 10s, fastest lap in Kentucky. So there's definitely opportunity for guys that don't make the final five to get some extra money, and that's kind of what I think kept some guys around. Smaller field tonight, but hopefully we can, next season we can get a nice decent field and why these guys come back, and we'll go from there. But yeah, and then one side note for my personal self, tonight was my 99th start in HCK. I missed Las Vegas, so I was kind of bummed that I didn't get 100 this season. So now I got to wait till Daytona to get that. But yeah, just all props to all the league admins that put this on. I know it's a lot of work. All of us kind of do each little part, and then staying after the race, we got to hand out penalties if there was. If we got to look through stuff and doing the sponsorship stuff and all that. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into the running the league that people don't see. A lot of people obviously see the broadcast, but they don't see the behind the scenes stuff. And so shout out to Greg and Ryan and Jonathan Herbert, Domingue, myself, all them guys that put in the time and effort each week to put on the best league that we possibly can. And yeah, just looking forward to season 8. So like I said, if anybody's interested in joining, just hit one of us up for the Discord link, and we'll get you squared away.
Absolutely, brother. Well, K-Dub, absolutely amazing season, brother. We look forward to seeing you guys back out on the racetrack for season 8. Hopefully, it's not going to be that short of an off season. Man, it sucks when we got Tuesday nights off. We don't get to see you guys out there duking it out each and every single week. But I do know that we're doing a charity race, I do believe, in a couple weeks from now on a Tuesday night. So that should be fun. Hopefully we'll see a bunch of these guys back out there for that. And then obviously, season 8 just around the corner. I mean, October's not too far away. So, we'll take what we can. But, man, we can't wait to get you guys back out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, break's always nice. I know you're busy with other broadcast stuff, so I'm sure it's kind of nice for you to take a night off. I think you broadcast every night or close to it, so I'm sure you're kind of looking forward to a little break. But also, we do have a free ARCA League Monday nights. It's not broadcast, no payouts, nothing. It's just for guys, to go in there and have fun. So if anybody's interested in running that, you can join Discord too and sign up for that. And then if you want to obviously join Chuck season after that, you can. But yeah, so once again, just congrats to Jacob Grube on the season 7 championship, and we'll go into season 8, see what who's gonna be the next champion then.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see how it all plays out, and another amazing season here with you guys out there on the racetracks. Kev, thank you for hopping in here and giving us a quick show here and giving us the down low there on the next season, and obviously all the thanks as well, brother. Congrats on a solid season for yourself. Hopefully even better season for you next year, and maybe talking to you up here in our season finale as the champion.
Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, I've been up and down, and even in my other leagues that you broadcast, I've been up. Last night was a disaster. I don't want to talk about that, but yeah, it's I always love your broadcast, man. And you put on a hell of a show, and I love getting interviewed by you, top 3 or whatever. So keep up the good work, Aaron, and we'll catch you next season, man.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You hear from one of our admins there, Mr. Kevin Winker, on the down low there on next season and when things are going to get rolling here on Tuesday nights once again for the HCK Beagles Truck Series. And if anyone is interested in joining that fun and becoming part of the series, make sure you guys get a hold of myself or any of these drivers, Kevin Winker, Gregory Turner, any of these guys to get yourself locked in and into the action for Season 8 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. And you're not going to want to miss it, man. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go Hypershift Racing League coming in, showing the love. How are you, Hypershift, coming in? Drop that like on the stream. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the love here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, absolutely amazing season. We can't thank these drivers. We can't thank the sponsors in the HCK Beagles enough for, showing up, showing out, and putting together such a great season once again here for our 7th season of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. We can't thank, all the admin crew and Gregory Turner, everybody that's behind the scenes that runs the HCK Beagles, and obviously having me up here in the booth, man. I cannot thank them enough. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be up in the booth to call these races and to call this series, and we can't wait to get them back up there on the racetrack. But we got one more thing to say. We cannot thank you guys enough. All of the fans in the stands that tune in, not only every night of the week, because we're live pretty much, as Kevin Waker said, we're live every night of the week most of the time. There's the odd time where a series will be on a break, or we'll get a couple days off here or there. Not very often. Most of the time, we are live every single night of the week, and we are always putting on some great racing action for everyone to enjoy, and we can't thank you guys enough. All the fans in the stands tuning in, cheering on, your favorite drivers, watching, lurking, enjoying the racing action. Not thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love each and every single one of these races. Whether it's this series or any of our other series, man, it's all because of you guys. It's all because of you guys that we're able to continue to keep on doing this, continue to keep on putting on these wicked, wicked shows, and we can't wait to see you guys back here tomorrow night. We'll be live again. As I said, we're live every night, but obviously now for the next month or so, we will be off on Tuesdays, but we do have a couple things lined up. We got a couple charity races, and maybe we'll get a couple surprise streams, whether it's Call of Duty or random hosted lobbies that we'll throw up that drivers can get a chance to jump into, have some fun, and enjoy some racing there as well. So we'll have to wait and see what we can kind of get lined up on Tuesdays for that. But man, what a show, what a season. What a night. We can't thank you guys enough. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. That way you never miss the racing action here on the channel. Make sure you guys also hit that like button on the stream for us right now, whether you're watching live or you're rewatching the broadcast. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Every like, comment helps the stream grow more and more and more, and helps us get to more amazing viewers and more amazing fans in the stands here for Peacemaker Gaming. We can't thank you guys enough for always showing the love, and we can't thank you, and hope to see you guys back up here in the broadcast booth again tomorrow night, as we'll be back to the dirt track tomorrow night for the Circle Track Series there, the Circle Track Showdown with the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see probably another 30, 40 drivers out there on the racetrack in the dirt street stocks duking it out. I do believe they head to Oswego Speedway. Should be a ton of fun and some great racing there tomorrow night in our dirt street stock series. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the grandstands cheering those drivers on and enjoying some more amazing racing here on Peacemaker Gaming tomorrow night. But thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Friends for pets! Friends for pets!
Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining life so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high-octane haste, feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high-octane haste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engine scream. This is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might. Push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight. Racing on with all our might.